studio.
I was telling a book wala background suits ma'am more than the sarkari thing. So that is essential for.
That's okay. Okay, friends, we are live today. This is our book reading session 2, part 2. This is a series 2. It's called the Rajnivas Connect. I want to thank 2 people for this Rajnivas Connect. One is Mrs. Asha Gupta. She's the Rajnivas Comptroller. She's a Comptroller Rajnivas, which Comptroller Rajnivas means who controls me also.
Oh,
Who manages the entire Rajnivas, all its working, functioning, the beauty of it, the greenery of it, everything, and also those people who live in it. So her name is Asha Gupta. Okay, can you show your face? Come. Here you are. That's. Can you clap for her? Clap for her. Say thank you to her. Lovely. She's the one who handles it. She's the one who can give you one day a virtual tour of Rajnivas. Would you like a virtual tour of Rajnivas, some of you? Yes? Okay, we'll get it for you. Now, and the second one is Miss Isha Arora. Isha, can you come? She's the technology young lady, teenager. No, she's not a teenager. She's a lady. She hasn't shown you. Show your face properly. No. Ah, that's right. You can clap for her too. Clap for her. Okay, she's very good in her computer. She loves filming. She loves editing. She loves communicating. So these are the 2 people who have conspired to make this Rajnivas Connect happen. So we thank her, right? It's always good to begin with thank you for all who've done it for you, right? That's the first quality we as children, as we grow up to learn is whoever does anything for you, what do we say? What do we say?
Thank you.
Thank you. That's lovely. Beautiful. All right. So we are on this story. As I told you, this is called The Making of the Top Cop. Right? This is the storybook which you may have heard. All right. Now, today we are on this starting from Sacred Heart School. We are starting from Sacred Heart School. I think Isha will show you the picture. This was my school. Show the picture, Asha. From these are the earlier pages, and now comes my school. Yes, this is my Sacred Heart School, Amritsar. I hope some of my friends who were my friends in the school are watching this picture. But this was the school. It was in those days one of the best school of its time at that time when I went to Sacred Heart School, and it didn't have many children. I think we were just about 1,000 school girls, and it's a girls' school in Amritsar. It's a Catholic school. During my time, we had Belgian nuns. They were all from Belgium. Now, all of those Belgian nuns, post-independence, gradually one by one went back to Belgium. But then it was replaced by nuns from Kerala, the Sacred Heart sisters from Kerala. So at the moment, you have Kerala nuns but it's still a Catholic school. And it is this school where I learned to read the Bible, also get holy pictures as a prize, and also say my Lord, O Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name is come. I used to sing this prayer, the school prayer in the church every day. It was so lovely when I would just go and sit there on the bench and pray to Jesus Christ. So this is where, so when I was a child, as you see earlier, we used to go to the Golden Temple with my grandmother, and Mummy took me to the Durgana Mandir. These are my earlier pictures. And then I went to the Catholic school. So we were learning one thing which was coming all along. Let's see the next picture. From the school. Let's go back to the first picture, this Catholic school, because that's where I explained. So when I do this Catholics, when I say this, see the way you grow up when you're small, and you learn to imbibe messages and learnings and teachings of from all sides, all directions. It only makes you respect and value everybody, whether you're a Hindu or a Muslim or a Christian or a Parsi, whoever you may be, Hindu, Christian, Sikh. So it was, I probably never realized that how wonderful it was that you learn from these, learn to respect all faiths. But all faiths lead to one direction, and one direction is to be a good human being. That's what I learned, to be respecting all others, respecting all faiths, because no faith teaches you to differentiate between one person or the other. It teaches you respect for all genders and even animals. It is kindness. It teaches you. I remember one of the best things I learned from my sacred art school was cleanliness. I remember how my sisters used to come and make sure that we leave at after we've had our lunch in the corridors, that we leave our corridors clean. And I remember my sister Germaine. Her name was Sister Germaine. Then another sister Joanie. So Sister Joanie, Sister Germaine. Then came the Kerala nun during my time. She was Sister Rita. So we used to have many other sisters, Sister Stanza. All these sisters used to come with a white gown and wearing that nice cap, and they used to have the scissors and the keys on the side. All the nuns have lots of keys on the side and the scissor also. So they used to walk around and look at our food and say, "Mummy's very good food for you. Your mummy's nice. Did you say thank you to your mummy? Did you thank the Lord for this food?" So they taught us to say thank you for our parents who gave us the food, parents who sent us to good school, and then also taught us how to share our food, how to share and eat, and then leave the place clean, not a speck. You see, the Swachhta movement came much later, but we were taught to be clean in our habits right from the childhood. We would not leave a paper, a speck on any school, anywhere in the, never leave a tap open, never leave anything behind which would leave our school dirty or in any way unkempt. So I remember how we used to. So I remember my days when you show me these pages, thanks to book reading. It takes me back to those days. What are the values we learned at this time? And this is a learning time. Now I remember there's a story where a mother, she ran to Aristotle. Aristotle, as you know, is a very famous thinker of his time, a Greek philosopher and a very famous thinker of his time. The mother went to Aristotle and said, "I have this 5-year-old girl, a child. How do you think I can make her a very, very lovely human being? So, what all can I teach her?" Do you know what Aristotle told the mother? "No, mother, you're 5 years late." He said, "You're 5 years late." That's what he said, which means that all the grooming of the child begins from day one. All the nice habits, punctuality, politeness, gratitude, kindness, honesty, being good to the fellow beings, being respectful, all this begins from day one as you grow. So my school taught me, and that's why I learned these things. While of course my parents came and reinforced all this, but school played a very important role, because for me, whatever the sister told me, the nun told me, was the final word. So because I used to always say, "No, mama, my sister told me." "Mummy, my sister told me." "You saying this?" "No, my sister told me." So mummy knew that if my sister, which is the nun teacher, tells me, that's the gospel. So remember, the discipline, the habits start from school, and you're 5 years late, as Aristotle said, which means from day one, as the child opens it, the child likes to love, the child likes laughing, child likes to love, care, child loves to be fondled, child likes to be fed. And then, of course, he starts crawling, climbing, then he likes to explore, he starts experimenting, and then he starts being naughty. This is childhood all about. But along with it, the mummy teaches him how to remain clean, how to wash hands, how to have a regular bath, how to lie a massage, how to listen to some good music, and to giggle. You know, the parents giggle. They play around the body of the child and they make the child giggle. So the child laughs and laughs. This was my school time. Then came the next picture. now comes the serious business. Now, this is serious business is, as we grew up, the pocket allowance, this is a story which goes back a little. The back a little is that when my parents were growing up, they were more supervised by my grandfather. And my grandfather would not give my father the amount of fee which the school needed, because he thought this good schooling is not for girls. Only free school is for girls. Boys can go to expensive school, but girls need not go to expensive schools. They can be going to a free school which was in our neighborhood. So my grandfather was very stingy, miserly when it came to educating the girls. So this is why I remember that sometimes my fee was delayed in the school because my grandfather did not pay enough pocket money to my father. So, but this is a story to remember, that my father and my mother made sure that we go to the best school which would teach us best character building when we were children. So even when their pocket allowance by their own father was inadequate. Then I'll show you the next picture. Again, the story of my father and grandfather having a dialogue where, and the grandfather tells my grandfather, my father, here, my father, this is my grandfather, and my grandfather is telling my father, saying that why don't you send your children to the next school possible, which is free, Prakash? We have enough property to landed property, as the earlier pages would show, that my grandfather had a lot of property in Amritsar because of the landed inheritance he had had. He had a very major inheritance from his grandfather. They had traveled from Peshawar with a lot of money and property. And he told my father, you don't worry about the fees and the money extra. You let the children, the girls have to be married off, don't need higher education. These were the old times. Things have changed now. Now the girls are being sent to school. Girls are getting scholarship as they're getting born. Many state governments are giving a scholarship fixed deposit to girls. So when they grow up at the age of 21 or even 18, they have a fixed deposit to go for higher education. See, things have changed now. Earlier, it wasn't not like that. There was no such Beti Padhao, Beti Bachao. But then it was neither saying Beti Padhao, nor was it Beti Bachao. For the reason, nobody knew what was happening to the girls. And there were no medical facilities of abortion were so high. So therefore, the girls were born. Nobody could abort the girls. Later on, as you know, the medical science, when the girls were growing up and parents didn't want girls and still do it, they go to the doctor and tell them we want an abortion because this is a girl child. And now there's a side. Then over the years, a science test came up, medical test, where you could know the gender of the child before birth, before the actual birth. So many parents started to go for abortion so that the child would go. Child is speaking, no? Okay, that's all right. So even Guchu is on the line. I see Guchu. It's very interesting. So this is how the parents were. Where this was the time of my grandfather when girls were born but never welcomed. They always was considered a liability to be married off with a lot of dowry. So my grandfather told my father, Prakash, why don't you send these children? We have enough property to give. But let me tell you what my daddy did. Whatever I'm today is because of my father and my mother. What they said. My father told his father, my Papaji, that you will not decide for my children while you decided for me. Because he decided for him. My father was a very good tennis player. He put him compulsorily into running his property business. But certainly allowed him to play a lot of tennis. That way he was a sportsman. He would give him a lot of facilities to play as much as he wanted. But he would give him on a salary. He would be an employee of his own father. But he said, Papaji, you will not decide for my girls. But while you decided for me how much I would study, etc., and how I would work, how much money I would earn, I respected you for that. But for my children, you will not decide for me. It is because of this father's thinking. You see, when we are children, we don't choose our school. We don't choose our school. We just get the school our parents give us. We don't choose where we would go. They choose, because we are all that we are. When we are children, it is parents who are choosing for us. Some, as the children grow up, want to change in the school. They develop their own thinking, but that's a little later. But when you are 4 years old, 3 years old, or 5 years old, by and large, most of the children, they listen to their parents and they go, because at that time the children cannot decide and assert for themselves. So this is that story where my father told my grandfather that, Daddy, I will, Papaji, you will not decide for my children. I will decide for my children. I will see how I grow up, groom my daughters, and that is why I shall send them to the best school. So then let's see the next page and see what my grandfather did. Look at this next slide. My grandfather then said, okay, then I will not support you anyway. I'll not give you anything. He was trying to bulldoze my father and said, okay, in that case, you are on your own and I will not support you financially. Means even the pocket money I was giving you, I'll not give you because you're not listening to me. You're disobeying me. Then my father came back to my mother. That's why I was telling you that whatever we have today till now, whatever I've earned, whatever I've been able to serve, join the Indian Police Service, have everything of my own, being able to serve the people, have comfort for myself, being able to travel all over the world, studied up to doing a PhD, doing a law degree, best university and all because of my parents. Why? They supported each other. You see, they were not quarreling. They were saying, my mommy said, come what may, our girls' education will not be compromised. My daughters will grow up to be givers. That to me is a very important lesson. This is what my mother's taught me, that grow up, my daughters will not grow up to be takers. They will be givers, because during that time, girls were receivers of property for the dowry to be married, and they were receivers. Whereas my mother told my father, no, my children will grow up to be givers. They will be givers and never takers. So that now when your parents decide that way, that automatically means that when you are to be a giver, then you have knowledge with you, resources with you, capability with you, value system with you. Otherwise, how will you give? If you don't read, how will you teach? If you've not got money, how will you share and give money? And if you're sad, how will you give joy? Right? If you are not fit, how will you give energy to the other? And if you're not happy, how will you make the other person happy? You'll only make the other person sad. So my mother said, no, our daughter, and he assured my father, saying, telling daddy, when daddy told my mummy what grandfather said, that he says, mummy's name was Prem at that time. Prem, today is the first day in my life that I've had the courage to defy my father. My girls will grow up to be different. I will grow up differently. See the determination of my parents? My father said, my girls will grow up differently, which means not the way traditionally we were growing up at that time. He said, they will grow up differently. And mummy said, come what may, our girls' education will not be compromised by my daughters will grow up to be givers. See, now I will end this session today at this, because there is a learning in this. The learning in this is that when parents think alike, when they think equally, and they think, they're not fighting with each other, they're not quarreling with each other. Not that daddy says, no, my father hasn't given me money, I cannot afford it, so Prem, we can't afford our children, take the children out to the Sacred Heart School. He didn't say that. He went back to mummy and said that, Prem, this is what grandfather Papaji has said, but our children will grow up differently. So while daddy said my children will grow up differently, girls will grow up differently, mummy said my children will grow up to be givers. You see this? When the parents think alike, it's a very major lesson for my parents, for parents, because if you continue to ask me the same question, why are you the way you are? Who are your role models? How can my parents not be my role models? Why won't I say that I am whatever I am because of them? So when you grow up, Your parents, when they become the big foundation, give you the right kind of thinking and invest into you. And then when I was growing up, for some time, when my father was continuing not to give to, my mummy used to go back to her own parents who were wealthy enough to provide for her also and give her whatever she needed, because she also belonged to a very philanthropic family. Her parents also feed hundreds of cows in the house. They had a large ashram of a place. They would feed the cows, feed the poor, and then only feed themselves. So her family was a very philanthropic family. So they made sure, see, they also helped mommy daddy to see. They also were not boy oriented, they also were loving what our parents were loving. See, now what is the larger message in this? The larger message here is that where parents think alike in a positive way, grandparents also support them in a positive way, children benefit. And children, then when they grow up, see, mommy, daddy are not here anymore. They are gone many years ago. But what I will remember them till as long as I live. For the what they did for us, we don't forget. And see, this book has been written exactly for you and your parents, you and children as parents to see. You are always asking me, why are you like this? This is the reason the book has been written. You need to know when children become different. Why am I by nature a giver? I'm by nature a giver. Do you know what we do in Rajnivas? We got such lovely, expensive gifts in Rajnivas. Every visitor who comes here comes with a gift. What Asha does, I give it to Asha. Asha puts it carefully in the cupboard, and then she gives them away according to the visitors we get. So instead of buying new gifts, Raj Nivas passes them on to others. We don't buy, we save public money and we gift it away, and they're all. Sometimes it's a book, we give it to children, and then we make pencils, we make copybooks, we receive donations for our children, and Rajnivas is constantly giving and giving and giving. So that's the nature. If we grow up with as givers, it becomes a habit from childhood and as you grow up. So I would say I would stop at this page 5 of this making of the top cop. See, the title of the book is also called Making of the Top Cop. How did a top how when since I became the first woman in the Indian police service to become a cop, and that too in the officer ranks. That's how the book's title is. This book has been written by my two sisters, Anu Peshawaria and Rita Peshawaria, both sisters, and it's been edited by my friend Amrita Bahal. She is also a very, very bright young lady who's also working for an international agency in Bhutan. So this is the book which is called The Making. Now you understand what is making of the top cop? Making was the top cop. She went to all faiths. She learned to respect all faiths. Then she learned to be grateful. Then she saw the parents doing the best maximum for her and listening to it. Next page will show you what kind of fitness we used to do as sisters, how I used my time further as I grew up, what kind of extracurricular activities we involved. Every Friday at 8 p.m., I come back to you for the virtual book reading with children. It's with children, girls and boys, because I'm answering the questions children are asking me all the time. So we thought we will use this book, Making of the Top Cop. By the way, this book is also in all languages. It's in all languages so that children not comfortable with English or with Hindi, it's also in Hindi. They can reach in Telugu, Tamil, Assamese, Bengali. It's in all languages, regional languages of the country, so that children can get inspired. So this book is the making, which means the making of a person. And making means when you start a foundation. So we are at the moment on the foundation of the making of a person. So which happens to be yours truly, Kiran Bedi. Now I've done my half an hour. This is my budget where I talk to you. Now we'll spend 15 minutes answering your questions. So I have with me Kirtana, Sanjana, Maja Soda, then I have Ujma Naj, I have Muskan Khan, I have Niranjana Rao, and I have Anika. So I'll turn by turn take a question from you. Okay, then we'll also take the questions from those which have come on the chat board. We'll come there also on the comments on the chat board. I've seen many Bobby Yadav, Sushil Arya. Sushil Arya is also a teacher in our project. So Sushil is listening to me because he will tell the story to his own children. He is he's a project director of educating school children in our Navjyoti India Foundation. So I'll go to the chat board. By the way, I even saw my daughter in this chat board listening to mummy. She's listening to me. So now let me go back to Kita. Kita, your question. You can switch on the mic and ask me a question.
Yeah, I think this should be an unusual question because have you had any funny incident happen in your career?
Family incident?
Funny, like humorous or like which made you laugh.
Oh, my laugh? I laugh 24 by 7. In fact, the next few slides, as you will see the book developing, it's all about laughter. How me and my sister played with each other every day, how we would come back, steal time and go to the park and play and play. We were very fond of playing. So mommy would say, come back home. And we both of us would run away to the park to play. And then, we get a little late. And there is a superstition that if you come back home and you know what you do? When you come back home, you have two stones. You put one stone over the other and leave it outside. Then as children, we believe that if you put one stone outside the home and another stone on it, and you just leave it at that, parents won't get angry. So we both girls, baby and my sister, we used to do that. Do you remember too?
No, no, after
So we used to do this. We used to do this and just leave it. So baby and me, she was only 2 years younger to me. So baby and I said, okay, Kiran, Kini, she used to call me Kini Didi. She used to say, Kini, Kiran, we've done these two stones now. Mommy, daddy will not get angry. So we used to do all kinds of funny things as children to protect ourselves from getting angry from mommy. Why have you come late? You again not done. You not done your homework. So we used to do two stones. Every time we'd go back, we used to be very fond of playing. So therefore, we would do these two stones and then go up home, thinking now these stones will protect us. And we used to giggle around. Mommy sometimes used to be angry and sometimes we won't be. But we had a lot of fun. Me and my sister used to fight together. She was a very naughty girl. She was doing what she was doing. See, since she was only 2 years younger to me, she was handed down my used school books. Like if I was going to 6th standard, she was in the 4th standard. So my books were given on to her. And she wanted new books. So you know what she would do? She would deliberately sometimes spoil the page of the book and go back to mummy to say, Mummy, the book is not good. See, the page is not right. I need a new book. So between I and you, we used to giggle that she's not telling the truth. She wants a new book. And mummy also knew that. So little things, many things go with age. Many little incidents go with age. That was the age when you were 7-year-old, 8-year-old, 9-year-old, and you played these kinds of little naughty things. So me and my younger sister were like twins. That is why the book has been written by her, because she knew it by heart the way we were. But life, when you're small and you spend playing, and if you have sisters and brothers, playing with them, fighting with them, dancing with them, music with them, oh, it's a lot of fun. It's just a lot of laughter.
Yeah,
And eat a lot with them. Then also we will eat. I will give you another story. I was a slow eater. She was a fast eater. So if we would get money, we'd go and pick up the churran. We used to be very fond of this was called anardane ka churran. So we would both buy with that few money, little bit money, pocket money we had. We bought churran. What she would do, baby would do, was Rita would do. She would eat it up very fast. And I will eat slowly. So what happened was, after she would finish her eating, she would ask me, can you spare some for me too? I said, no, why should I? You eaten it all. I'm not going to give me. So I would eat slowly. She would eat fast. And now she'd look at me. I'm still eating. And then she would say, would you not like to share it with me? No, I want, you eaten it? No, then or I will give her little by little, little by little. So we used to have a lot of fun as twins. But see, little things you remember. Right. Okay, Sanjana, your
Hi,
turn.
ma'am. So my question is, did your male subordinates resist following your orders in your initial days because you were a lady, and how do you handle it? Also, do you think this question is relevant in today's scenario?
Sanjana, see, if anybody would listen to you, if you know how to get heard. Like, for instance, uh, I'm making this story interesting for you. You're hearing me, aren't you? Aren't you? I'm making it interesting so that you hear me. Right? I'm deliberately making it very, very story oriented by showing you a picture, narrating it, remembering it to make it interesting. When you deal with your juniors, if you know your work, if you prepared yourself well, and you're capable, and that you have people know who you are, people start knowing who you are, they respect you, they listen to you. And I can tell you, they listen to women even more where she is capable, because men trust the woman more where she's more capable, because she endears herself. She does it with a sense of love. She does sense of care. There's a little concern, and she's soft. She's soft. She's not shrill. She's soft. So when a woman knows her job well, people, men, but initially it depends on whether she's capable. But then if you come back trained, you've read, you've learned, and you know your job, and then you respect them also, they hear you. They do not hear you if you order around, shout around, and then also not even know your work, and then also not be to the point, and then you're rude, and then you don't care. Then they don't listen to you. They listen to you, but they don't like you. They listen to you because they're your juniors, but they don't like you. So for me, they used to like me. They respected me. They would salute me with your heart. You see, in policing, you have two kinds of salutes. One is a salute because you're a senior. The other is a salute because we like you. So I didn't want a salute because I'm a senior only. I wanted a salute because you like me. I also saluted an officer with my heart and soul whom I liked. And I had to salute somebody whom I didn't like. But my heart wasn't in the salute. But if you want the heart in the salute, if you want your heart in the salute, then you have to like that person. So, yes, this is what it was. So, what was your question?
Ma'am, I also asked if it's still relevant in today.
Yes, beta. As I said, your question was, say the same thing again. Repeat your question.
Ma'am, I had asked if you had faced any issues with your subordinates not following your orders because you were a lady.
I would say, in Sanjana, you would face issues if you're not prepared. You would face issues if you're not capable. You would face issues if you do not know how to work with them. Because I knew how to work with them, I cared for them, I prepared for myself, I did not have issues. You understand? That is the answer. Okay? Good. Thank you. Now, Maya Soda, I like your head. I like this. I used to wear it also. Headband. I had lots of headband too. I used to love my headbands. I used to have lovely clips also. Okay, now carry on. Yes, Mala. Maya, Soda.
My name's pronounced
Switch
as
on your mic.
Mia. It's on.
Oh, Mia.
My name's Mia.
Okay. So it's Mia.
Mia.
Mia. Okay, Mia. So, huh?
I have two questions. My first
Put on your
is,
mic.
which is your favorite? Which
Switch
are
on your
your
mic.
two favorite
What is my
books?
favorite? What
Which are
favorite
your
rock?
two favorite books? Two
Favorite
books.
books?
Yeah.
It all depends at which age you are. It depends on which age you are. It also depends at which age you are.
My second question.
The books are also linked with. I used to love Amar Chitra Kathas. I used to love
My
them
second
every day. I used to
question.
love comics at that time. Okay.
What's smart?
The second
Okay, my second
question.
question.
Did people in your time think that you were? Did people in your time think that you were a rebel?
Say your question again. Say your question again.
Did people in your time? Did people in your time think you were a rebel?
Since I was a rebel, then what happened?
Did people think you're a rebel?
Did people think I was a rebel? Are you asking me
Said
that
what?
did people think? Say again.
Yeah. Did people think that you were a rebel?
Well, some people did think I was a rebel. You see, who's a rebel? A rebel is somebody who carves their own way of thinking or has his own way of doing. Um, let's another word for rebel is being different. Is not a copycat. A person who is a rebel, you can call them a rebel. A rebel is rebel is more taken into towards a word is towards more of aggression. I did have aggression. I was different, and people would say she's different. Rebellion is taking you towards adult aggression. I was not aggressive. I was not fighting. I was different. Like I had short hair because I wanted to play tennis and I got my short hair. So because I didn't want, and at that time, girls only had long hair. They loved long hair, but I had short hair. So would you say I was a rebel? I would say I was different. Rebel goes a lot with aggression. The word rebellion goes with aggression. I was different, which also goes within certain parameters of good behavior. Okay? Okay?
Thanks. Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Now let's go to Harsh. Okay, Harsh? Okay, Harsh?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
What's your
Good
question?
evening, ma'am. Ma'am, my question is, as a teenager, ma'am, what part can I play in the politics to make a difference and bring a change to the country?
At the moment, you just have to educate yourself, school yourself better, read a lot, learn a lot, develop energy, develop good health, work with your parents, listen to your teachers, etc., and acquire a lot of awareness, knowledge, skill, playing, happy, friends. At the moment, it's your time, and also be aware.
Yes,
Listen to
ma'am.
the news, what's happening around the world. If you do that, baby, beta, if you do that, then this is preparing you for many things, including political life, if you wish to, but also volunteering. That would mean getting to a little bit of social work. Okay, so if you get into a little bit of social work, you will volunteer, then you will like if you like working with people. Sometimes some children are very good at experiments, they like science, they move towards science experiments. Some are very good at playing, they become sports girls. Some people are very good in music and art, they went into artistry. Some of them are chess players, they go into chess champions. And if you're fond of voluntary work, social work, and you like to be of help to others, then it is moving towards political career, because political life is all about serving the community, working with the people, even at odd hours. So if you do that, then you will know. So at the moment, prepare yourself and try and understand what are your likes, what are you comfortable with. Okay?
So far, okay, ma'am. Ma'am, the
Okay,
second question is,
Ujma
ma'am,
last.
that
Okay, let me
who's
go to
your
the next
favorite
question. Let me go to Harsh, you want to say something more?
Yes, ma'am. I just have one more question, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. The question is that who is your favorite tennis player, and what do you really like about the?
When I was growing up, I used to love watching Martina Navratilova and Billie Jean King and Margaret Court. I had such a wonderful favorite player. I also had I forget her name now. Chris Evert. Her name was Chris Evert. They were my favorite players. They were very graceful. They were brilliant. Margaret Court was a volleyer. Martina Navratilova was a net player warrior. Chris Evert was a baseliner. They were very. I think we have very interesting tennis players during my time. Billie Jean King was just beautiful. So I had very many favorite players, and I used to watch them so closely. Billie Jean King, Margaret Court, Chris Evert, and many others. Okay, okay, Harsh. Okay, now let's go to Ujma. Yes, Ujma. She's from
Yes,
Navjyoti.
ma'am.
Hey, you might
Good
from
evening,
Foundation
ma'am.
Navjyoti? Good.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ma'am,
Thank you, Ujma.
thank you, ma'am. I have only one question, ma'am. If your parents will not support you, then what you will do? Ma'am, can you listen me?
Bete, I've heard you. I don't have an answer. Because if as a child you're not supported by your parents, then NGOs, organizations like Navjyoti India Foundation become your parents. Is it?
Yes,
Clap for
ma'am.
Navjyoti. So where
Yes,
you
ma'am.
don't have parents, if you got a good NGO founded, they become your parents.
Yes, ma'am.
Neetu Sharma is your mother.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, they are your parents. So am I. Because Navjyoti was born. I'm the mother of Navjyoti India Foundation.
Yes,
It
ma'am.
is for children like you so that you can be inspired and to grow. And see, you're already so bright, and there's so many bright children like you in Navjyoti, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
Ma'am, I have one more question.
Yeah.
How you take challenges?
Now, I want to complete this question which you asked me. It's a very important question which you asked me, that if your parents do not support you, then what do the children do? I think if you have a close by good foundation, good new Navjyoti NGO foundation, like India Vision Foundation does that for the children. See, we have two foundations now, almost 30 and 25 years old, more than that, where they identify children who need this kind of parenting. So, Navjyoti and India Vision, I think I have also an IVF child.
Yes,
Huh.
it's fun.
Huh. These NGOs have been exactly filling in for the same purpose, where they parent you, they take care of you, provide education quality for you, and provide you all extracurricular activities which the parents would have provided. Now, what I would say is you must make use of these fully. So, if you by chance, by luck, parents did not give you, or parents are not there to provide for you, the foundation compensates and gives you the parenting. So, therefore, grow up, listen to them carefully, and use the resources fully. Yes, Natma? Yes, Ujma? Good. Now let's go to the next one. Niranjana.
Good
Yes,
evening, ma'am.
Niranjana. Good
So I'm
evening.
from Kochi, Kerala, and the COVID situation has been very well controlled over here because the people, and especially the police officers, are doing a really good job. But at the same time, we hear a lot of accusations against police. For example, the cases in Toothukudi and many more. How do you think we can improve the efficiency of the police and make them use their powers in the right way and not misuse it?
Yes, Kerala has been a model in COVID management. The police officers, the administration, the minister for health, they've all earned a very good reputation in doing a very good job. A good answer is good governance, but the Kerala model is also known for community support, where people are very well organized. Community support is overwhelming. They've done very well. Kerala model is being offered and shared with many of us, even from Government of India, how they're organized, how people are organized, the self-help groups, the panchayats, your basically grassroots institutions. Answer is only good governance. See, individuals can make mistakes, but systems have to run by themselves. And Kerala is known for grassroots systems. Okay? Niranjana? Anika. Anika?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes,
Uh,
Anika?
so, so throughout your life, you were never affected if other people had bad opinions about you, and you always stayed true to what you knew was right. So, can you tell us all how to be like that?
See, that is the reason God gives you 2 years. You can, what you like, you can keep. The second thing is you hear and you let it go from this place. So, what you like, listen to it carefully with both the ears. But if you don't like something and which you think is not true, it's useless, then you listen with one ear and let it go out of this ear. Don't let it stay back. I used to do this, I still do this. So, when you have 2 years, you should know why God has given you 2 years. One is listen carefully. And second is, if you think something is useless, it's lies and it's not worth it, listen to it from one ear and let it slip out of it. Don't let it stay home because this is the home. When you listen to something, it stays home. You can keep it or slip it. You can slip it. In the computer system, you have a commandment called delete. You go take the mouse, go delete. So in this case, you can also delete and you can also let it go. I let it go and I also delete. If you get into this habit of delete and if you let it have a habit of slipping it, you'll never have rubbish here. It only be space for only good stuff. No rubbish. Rubbish out. Okay? Okay? All right, let's look at something of the chat. Muskan? Where is Muskan? Hey, there's Muskan there. Huh? Muskan's also come. She's my IVF child. Okay, Betty, Muskan, go ahead.
Yes,
Yes, Muskan. India Vision
yes,
Foundation child. Your mommy is Monica
yes,
Dhawan, right?
yes,
Okay, tell me. Okay, Muskan, what is your
yes,
question?
ma'am. Ma'am, my question is that, ma'am, in your book, one incident was like that when you were traveling from a train by mistake, one slipper was slipped out. Ma'am, then you thrown the second one also.
Do you know this is a story I realize even Gandhiji did? I was once traveling in a train and it was very crowded train. My compartment, ladies' compartment, was very crowded. I was into very, I was being pushed out to say, go find another place. ये तो लड़कियों का है. They thought I was a boy because I had a short haircut. I was wearing slacks and I was wearing loose clothing. The ladies thought I was a boy who intruded into the ladies' compartment that time because I had very short hair and I was going for my tennis tournaments and I had slacks and pusher. But while they were pushing me to the right to the edge of the gate, my sandal chappal fell. It just fell. I remember still one. It was a black one, and it had a little plastic thing on it. It fell. Moment it fell, I threw my second one also because I thought, what's the point? Whoever now picks up one chappal can get the chappal at least. If I've lost my chappal, let somebody go and wear it. Later on, I realized in books, Gandhiji also did this. He also lost one chappal one day and he also threw the other so that anybody who comes picks them both. So it's just this happened in my life. You must have read it somewhere. I think there's a book box stories. There's a video on YouTube. How to lose the there's a story of the book box, an audio book box, and it's also on the YouTube. How do you lose the shoe? So thank you, Muskan, for raising this question. Thank you.
ma'am.
Thank you. Give my love to a lot of children, all the children. So let me see some questions from here. Lots of good questions. Ruby Yadav. Let me see what they're asking. People are sending more of blessings. As a woman, how do you balance both family and professional? You know how I do? You want to know? Huh? Have you seen a balance? Just being naughty right now. You seen a balance? I think on one side is work, on one side is home. I keep balance. Something this goes down, sometimes this goes down. I keep balancing every time. And I play the driver role. It's very simple. That needs a whole seminar. But I keep balancing. The point here is there's a time for everything. There's time for home and there's time for work. Work while you're at work, come home when you come back home. Yes, home does not get so many hours, but you get time to sleep at home. I would be lucky if I get time to sleep at home. Because I many times spent many nights doing night patrolling and out in uniform through the nights, many times in law and order issues in Delhi police. So therefore, I value every night at home. So let's see another. Appreciate such an issue. SPs of India. Bajrang Verma, Yami, Shramanth. How to join this video? She was asking how to join this video. Nice questions. Children, these people have said they're nice questions. Ma'am, my daughter wants to join this live. So go ahead. Next Friday, 5 o'clock again. We will take the next pages of the story. But till then, you read it on the YouTube. Ma'am, just love wishing you a child too. Wish I was a child. The person, Rajimi says, ma'am, just love listening to you. Wish I was a child too. Yeah, I wish I was also a child.
Professor in Pondicherry,
Really?
She's from Parvati's dietitian class.
Achha. Yeah, I want to say even I wish I was a child. We all grew up so soon. Now this is another one. Hi ma'am, I'm Kashbu studying in the study Licol International and my age is 12. Lovely, good Neha, you joined us. I'm glad you did. We see you again. And next week again we'll talk something nice. Let's see what Preeti Sharma says. It's a big question. Good evening, ma'am. You are more than an inspiration for my niece and me, just as I made her see this video. She wholeheartedly wishes to be part of this conversation. She's in 6th standard. A part of this, I'm also a police officer in Delhi. You're the best person out, ma'am, and I like to be like you. Of course I'm like you too. You're a police officer, you like me, I'm like you. So we like each other. Then says, Javeen M says, ma'am, please give me tips to enhance the mental health of my son who's getting trained to be a tennis player. Make him watch a lot of tennis matches. Make him watch a lot of tennis. Make him see how the matches are won and lost. Don't worry if he loses. Don't worry. Because it's only going to be winning after he learns to lose as well. And then he learns to analyze his game and then does it better. Don't worry about winning and losing. Let him enjoy the game. Let him enjoy. The word is enjoy. He'll win, he'll lose, doesn't matter. but he'll win in life if he wins. If he wishes to, if he enjoys tennis, in the end he'll win in life. Okay, 2 minutes more to go to 6. Let's see which other then let me see. Any question? Okay, Ambika Girglani. This could be my last question. It's a big question, so I'll ask Ambika's answer of Ambika's Girglani. I always wanted to ask a question when I was in the second standard. I saw Uran and I was told it's based on your life story. It was such an inspiration. I always wanted to know in every episode, wanted to know in every episode, really inspired. I was always fascinated when I used to see you. Also read one of your books about women in prison and what circumstance made her to do crime. Salute to you. Well, thank you, Ambika. Very nice, very cute of you. So it's you fulfilled it now today from the second standard times. Let's see, Manish Ghosh. You're really they will also have to be known the way you lead your life, being strong from inside. Then thank you for what you are. So it's more of appreciation rather than a question. Thank you so much for asking this question, Manishi Ghosh. Now we go to.
There's a question on the screen.
Huh?
On the screen, there's a question.
On the screen, there's a question. Who and what is your inspiration first to become an IPS officer and how to prepare for civil service exam? That's a long answer. I don't know which class are you in. Well, my inspiration came from home, as I said. The home was a very positive environment. School was, college was, books were, tennis was, exercise was, work was. All this was a source of inspiration to me. Stories were, no television, much of television those days, but all these are sources of inspiration. Reading was, and then wanting to work for my government was as a means of livelihood. But the purpose was higher. Purpose was to be of value. I think that is how I decided. So what kind of career you want, you start looking at it, you start working around it when you are in school and college, because you know you love subjects. Like, for instance, for me, liberal arts was my favorite. I love political science. I love literature. I loved psychology. I loved NCC. I loved playing games. I loved extracurricular activities. And I also loved working in the community as a volunteer. So all this took me towards the Indian Police Service. So children, the last question. You are, okay, put the last, what do you comment on dowry? Can it be changed? My goal is an IPS officers to being reformed. Dowry system is in our hands. Once you're educated, you must learn to say no. If parents want to give you, tell them to lock it up in the bank account. Give you a fixed deposit. And that could be used as an insurance, as a safety net for you. But if any man asks for you for dowry, say bye-bye to them, saying you reject it. Nobody forces you. You cannot be forced to get married to anybody wrong, anybody who's asking for these things. So dowry will go only when boys stop demanding as educated boys and girls stop accepting as educated girls. And if parents want to give a gift to their parents, to their children, they can lock it up as fixed deposit, remain the guardian, shared guardians, and that it should come to you when you are 50, 60 plus as a retirement, so that you can enjoy and relax and have fun. Okay, have fun till we meet again next Friday, 5 o'clock. Have fun. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Muskan. Bye-bye, Ujma, Niranjan, Anika, Soda, Ransat,
Bye.
everybody. Give me a hug. Give me a hug. Give me a hug. Do this. Give me a hug. Give me a hug. They don't know how to do it. Give me a hug. Do this. Yeah. Yes, give me a hug. Yeah, that's called the hug. Hugging you. Lovely. Love. Give me a hug. Hush. Give me a hug. Boys don't hug. Ah, that's right. Don't you hug your mommy? You hug your mommy? Yes, good. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.